What's up you guys? This is Haley here from Should You Buy It, and today we're going to be doing a First Impressions Friday. Now I was in St. Louis over the past weekend in St. Louis, at least not in Springfield. They have a 5 and Below store, which actually I think we might have one in Springfield now, but I'm not for sure. But we went there just trying to pass time. And I saw a couple different makeup palettes that I thought I would grab for $5 and see exactly how they worked out. So I actually got more. I did get some makeup wipes as well. These were $1 for 25. These do not work very well. It took probably 4 or 5 of these makeup wipes to get my makeup off my face, and they were very, very hard, and I had to somewhat scrub, which did irritate my skin. So if you do have sensitive skin, I would suggest not using these. But if you are in a pinch or a bind, or you're just trying to get like fallout off of your cheek or something, a not as strong makeup wipe might work. So these could have a way to like help you to get fallout or to get a spot off. But these are not very good about taking off all of your makeup. And I washed my face after I use these because it says it'll get off dirt and oil and makeup. Cleans down to the pores, hypoallergenic and pH balanced, and there is still dirt on my face. So if you're going to use these for a strong makeup wipe, I would suggest not doing it. But if you're needing something that's not as strong, just for touch-ups and just for cleaning up, then this might be the one for you. But you get 25 for $1. So I just thought I would grab those to see if they'd work. But on to what I really wanted to try. So they had these makeup palettes there, and I thought they had actually had a lot of them. They had 5 or 6, and they were all $5, and they were good sized makeup palettes. And so then I thought I would just grab a couple that I was interested in getting and see if they'd work. So the first one I got is this Shimmer Palette. I do not have any shimmer palettes or any really shimmer colors. Essentially, it comes with 10 colors, and then it comes with the little applicator, which of course nobody uses, and then an eye primer. So I have not tried any of these, so I'm just gonna peel off this. And first things first, I'm the realist. No. One thing, of course, these are cheap. They're only $5, but it doesn't sit in the package. It sits in this little plastic thing. So if you were wanting to depot these, you could not. I didn't realize it sat in this plastic thing, but hey, you know. But you kind of get a cool little box. You can rip it out and use this box for other things if you want to. I guess you could you can make somewhat of your own Z palette in here if you're wanting to. But we're going to slip that back in there. And so then I'm going to be swatching all these for you guys, and we're going to see exactly how these work out. One thing that I am noticing right now is it seems like most of the shimmer is on the top of the palette. After doing essentially a testing with my fingers or swatching with my fingers, it looks like a lot of the shimmer is gone, that it's not left over in the palette anymore. So that's a huge letdown for me. Of course, there's might be mixed in a little better, and they just put a lot more on the top to make it seem better. I mean, that's a huge possibility. Alright, so we have all of our swatches here. I am super impressed with the pigment of these swatches, especially being a shimmer. I don't like too much shimmer, at least personally, but for me, those are super highly pigmented. For it being a $5 makeup palette, you get 10 shades in there, and they vary and they range really easily. So I'm super impressed with the pigment on these, and the colors seem to come out really well and really true to exactly what's in the little pot there. So with this shimmer palette, other than the shimmer mostly being on the top, which of course it does look like there's some throughout, and I just can't see it, and of course it could just be illusion or whatever, but I'm super impressed with the pigment of these, with how much you pay, the $5, and I don't know if the eyeshadow primer works or not. If it does, then that makes it even better, because that's a lot of eyeshadow primer. It could last you a long time. But I'm super impressed with these pigments of these colors. I'm not really surprised that it does come in the plastic thing, because you are only paying $5 for this shimmer palette. But for what you get, I think you get a really good deal. So if you're looking for a shimmer palette, or maybe just like a palette for like a little girl, you know, who's just trying out makeup, you could possibly go down to, if you have one, the 5 and Below store and grab a couple of these palettes. And if you don't have a 5 and Below store, I'm pretty sure you can order from their website. So I am super impressed. I'll be taking these off with this makeup wipe so you guys can see exactly. I mean, it doesn't really, well, it did good that time. It did good for the camera. It wasn't doing good last week. So the next palette we got is the Essential Nudes palette. And what I was essentially drawn to is this thing is really, really thick. So I like to have more of a nude eyeshadow look. That's just me. But so I own like the Naked 2 palette, and then I have the Naked Basics, which is right here. So this is how thick this is compared to the Naked Basics. It's about twice as much. So the Naked Basic, of course, comes with 6 shadows. To where this one, I believe, comes with 10. No, it doesn't. It comes with more. It comes with 16 shadows. And what's really cool about this palette is essentially you get 8 basic shadows that are matte, and then you get 8 shadows that are more of a shimmer that match those original 8 shadows. And then you get an applicator as well. The one thing I'm really curious about, and of course I don't want to dig into this palette to figure out, is if the pods go all the way down to the bottom. That would be super great, because then that would mean you get a lot of product. On the back, it says you get 8.82 ounces. I don't know if that's the entire thing or what. It's just 8.82. And then essentially the first ingredient is talc powder, just like almost any other palette. So we're going to be taking this one off, and we're going to be swatching just a couple different ones. I just really want to know, should I dig in one of these? Should I dig to see how far it goes? Because if it doesn't go that far, then this is kind of just useless packaging. So I'm going to dig out this black one because I never use black. And I'm going to dig out the shimmery one with this little applicator that it came with. So I essentially just dug into this palette. And it doesn't go down all the way, unfortunately. It just usually goes down just a tiny bit. I was hoping it would have gone down all the way, because then there's no point in having this thick box. I'm kind of disappointed in that they're not that deep, but of course, you know, I only paid $5 for this thing. So if they were deep like that, I would have been ordering some more of these online. So we're going to be testing out essentially 5 of these different shades. We're going to be swatching the regular one, and then we'll be swatching the shimmer one to see exactly how they match together. So we essentially have our 10 swatches here. I'm not super impressed with the pigment of some of these shadows. It's just not good. Anyways, so a couple of these pigments are okay. These essentially these 2 first ones, they're really well pigmented. But you get into the lighter shades, like the yellow orangish kind of shade, and it's not pigmented at all. The cream isn't pigmented at all. I can't even see it on my skin. The white has no pigment in it whatsoever, but the 2 darker shades next to them, and of course I didn't swatch the black because I never use black, they're good. So the lighter shades in these palettes unfortunately have no pigment at all. So if you were going for these lighter shades, I would suggest maybe saving some money and getting a nicer palette. The Naked 2 Basics isn't that expensive. I believe it's $25. I'm not for sure, but it comes with essentially 6 shades, 3 darker, 3 lighter. I like this palette, and I can do every single makeup thing that I do, at least nude-wise, with that palette. So if you're looking for something else that's not too expensive, I would suggest going with the Naked Basics. But I'm not impressed with this palette. Of course, you know, they did match very well. The colors did. But the pigment is just not there. Compared to the shimmer one that has a lot of pigment to it, maybe you're essentially losing pigment because you're getting more colors, but I'd rather get less colors and more pigment than more colors and less pigment, because then you're just going to have to use more eyeshadow and build it up. And it looks like these don't even build that well as well, especially the ones that show nothing. They don't build. I tried to build it up a little bit more when I was swatching, and they just don't. So I'm not impressed with this Essential Nudes palette. I'll probably just use it and just keep it in the back just in case I run out of a color I like in my other palettes. But I'm not impressed with this one, so I suggest not getting this one for your kids. But if your kids are looking for a shimmer palette, I suggest the shimmer palette. It's super, super great. Thank you so much for watching this First Impression Friday. If you guys haven't already, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And hopefully I will be having my schedule more set out as well. I've life happens, and I'm sorry, but I can't really do anything about that. But thank you guys so much, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave those down below. Thank you guys for watching so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!